Hi, this is Enchanted Kid, and this is Enchanted Kid Presents Logan. So today I will be interviewing Logan and playing a game with him. I won the dice roll, so I will be going first. And why don't we get into the interview? Hey, Logan.
Hello.
Hi. We're gonna ask you a few questions, and you're gonna answer, and we're gonna have some fun time.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
So, do you play any other TCGs, or is Lorcana your first?
Before Lorcana, I played the physical World of Warcraft card game. And then when Blizzard cut that to make Hearthstone, I played Hearthstone competitively for quite a few years.
So, what exactly is World of Warcraft?
It's a MMO, a massive multiplayer online game. Basically, the goal is to get to whatever the max level is, depending on what version of the game you're playing. It changes. And then the end game is you get together, again, depending on what the end game is. 25 to 40 people will make a party and we try to go fight bosses.
That sounds actually kind of like really fun.
It's so much fun. It legitimately is.
Do you have like a favorite Disney movie, or do you just like all of them?
So I grew up as a Disney kid, believe it or not. When I was really little, I think between the ages of 3 and 5, I we had VHS tapes. I think I don't know if you have one because I'm a little bit older than you, obviously, but
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
between the ages of 3 and 5, I actually watched Cinderella so much that I wore out the VHS tapes of 3 different Cinderella tapes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, my mom has told me stories like I would just walk in the living room and say, "I want to watch Rella Rella."
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like Cinderella's a really good like classic Disney
Oh,
movie.
oh, for sure. I mean, just anything from that era, I think, is classic. Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, just on down the line. Just the artwork is very unique, and it's something I think we're missing in a lot of the newer Disney movies that come out these days.
Yeah.
I'm about to get got by red green locations. No. Say it isn't so.
So what? I know that you're on Team Labyrinth, and so what is your favorite part about being on Team Labyrinth?
I Ironically enough, after meeting the guys, the first time all of us got together was at the Atlanta DLC.
Hmm.
Um, and they very quickly became family. I've been in a lot of communities where like it just took a minute to get that connection, but as soon as we all met and got together, it was really easy for us to get along. So by far, that's my favorite part, just feeling like I'm part of another family.
Yeah, even like the whole Lorcana community feels like a family with everybody just like pitching in and helping.
Oh, absolutely. I've been a part of like a World of Warcraft community. I've been a part of Super Smash Brothers community, like, and just been really competitive in both those spaces. And I can honestly say that Lorcana in general has some of the nicest people I've met. Um, and they just do things that you normally have to beg and plead other communities to do. Just and that's just from a basic being nice standpoint. Like the amount of times I've been to a challenge and someone has said, "I got this like so many cards that just were found on the floor turned in, or deck boxes turned in, or just memorabilia in general to judges," is insane. Because other places, I think they would have just been swiped immediately.
So, have you been to any set champs yet since it is set champs season?
I've been to two. I went to one last weekend. I think we had 14 players. I ended up winning. And then I went to one today. We had another 14 players, and I split the finals with Ben from the Forbidden Mountain.
Yeah, that's really nice. I know that you said that you've been to Atlanta and we met in Chicago, but have you been to any other DLCs?
Yeah, I didn't miss a single North American DLC this season.
That's awesome. How did you do?
I didn't make day two at any of them, unfortunately. In Texas and Toronto, I was 1-2-0 away from making day two. So I've been very close, been right there. Uh, just haven't quite been able to make it yet. I mean, obviously you started playing with your dad, but do you have personal goals for Lorcana? Are there things that you want to do now that you've been in the space more? Do you want to travel more? Do you have competitive goals? What are the things you're wanting to do in the Lorcana space?
Um, I probably have two goals. One of them is to get a set champs mat that says champion on it. I was so
Hmm.
close that one time. I got a Mirabelle last time.
Nice.
And then my other one is to go to a DLC and uh, be in like get second day. That probably won't be this year, but you never know. It really depends on the meta and also like how you're doing and how you know your deck.
I mean, you do have a dad with some cool Ravensburger connections. I'm sure. I'm sure you could sneak into at least one more DLC. Isn't that right, Dad?
Yeah. So, what are some of your hobbies besides Lorcana?
um, I am a musician. I've taken a little bit of a backseat to that since I got promoted in my job. Um, Up until October, I was in a touring band called Divisive. And if I'm not or wasn't doing any of that, I play a lot of video games because I'm just a nerd.
Aren't we all?
I mean, actually, yes.
So, Logan, what do you do in your band?
For Divisive, I played bass. Um, Before I played in Divisive, I went to college for guitar performance, and I did YouTube covers for a good while.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, do you like constructed or limited better in Lorcana?
Constructed. I've always been in any card game I played. I've always preferred constructed. Um, while I think limited has its place, and I appreciate people who do well in those spaces, I just prefer having all of the tools that are in a set available to me to see what I can make. Essentially,
Yeah, because I feel like also in constructed you can make fun decks like we were playing with that kind of work well and are fun to play, but then you can also go to your competitive side and like build a deck that you want and know things will work together and good coordination.
yeah, and like the more you play in constructed, just you're able to find, to your point, a lot of synergies that maybe somebody hasn't. There's always that opportunity of, oh, I've built something that's unique for me, or I found this card that I think will synergize well in this particular ink combination that maybe somebody else hasn't tried. So, yeah, I just prefer having all of the tools, and I have gotten to the point where I don't really like opening sealed product. So
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite parts. Just be like, is it an enchanted?
I've had, ironically enough, really good enchanted luck over the past month. Ever since we went to Continentals and we played Pack Rush, just meeting everybody, I opened an enchanted in my Pack Rush packs. Came home, and every set champs I've played, I've out of the packs I've won, I've opened an enchanted out of those. So the luck's got to run out eventually, but I'm enjoying it while it lasts.
Yeah, enjoy it while it lasts, because we got a streak once. It was every other week we were pulling an enchanted, and then it
Oh.
stopped. And we were like, no. Oh, yeah. So on release night in chapter one, when Lorcana came out, we were opening our product and we stopped for a little bit. And someone came over and asked me if I would like to open some packs for them. So I was like, yeah, of course, I would love to. The second to last pack, I pulled an enchanted for them, and I was like, "Ooh, this one's really shiny."
Oh man. Well,
Yeah.
if it makes you feel better, I opened in the first chapter, one of the first boxes I got, I opened an Enchanted Maui. From that point, I did not open an Enchanted until Shimmering Skies.
Yeah, it's always rough when you have that patch of, "Man, I haven't pulled an enchanted in some odd sets."
That's why I've stopped opening sealed product. Every time a set comes out, I'm just like, okay, who can I bribe to just give me four of each card of the set?
Yeah. When did you start playing Lorcana? Because I know a few people started playing it in between sets, and some people started at the very beginning.
I started at the very beginning. I want to say 4 or 5 months before the game actually released, my cousin sent me a message and said, "Hey, Disney's putting out a card game. We really need to look into it." And it plays really, really similarly to the old physical World of Warcraft card game. We didn't know that at the time, but just being Disney nerds, my cousin and I just kept an eye on it. So opening weekend, we immediately were scouring WalMarts and Targets and everywhere that they said they released cards. I was really fortunate that at the time I was working near Louisville, Kentucky. Through the decades, they're the largest card shop in North America, and they had product. Granted, it was at triple MSRP, so I was paying a lot of money just to be able to play the game. But yeah, it was a really really fun time, and I was just really have been really excited to continue playing it ever since then.
Yeah, I feel like you always like opening first chapter because it was so hard to get whenever you can get your hands on it again, which is very, very slim, like, doesn't happen. It's like it brings back memories from those, like, first opening days.
Oh yeah, like I mean, I have distinct memories of just not being able to find four of a lot of cards because just people weren't selling them or didn't have it. Um, so for a little bit, it was really hard to actually play the game. Um, but I mean, we've fortunately come a long way from then. Ravensburger has fixed a lot of the production problems they had in the early days, so I don't feel like product shortage is a problem anymore.
Yeah. So we underdid chapter 1 and then we overdid chapter 2. So we have like 4 cards of everything in chapter 4 except for the legendary beast because it was so hard to find.
See, like I'm a little bit opposite. I way overdid it in chapter one. I paid an embarrassing amount of money to have as much just chapter one product as I did get, and then chapter two, I was like, okay, I need to scale it back. So there are a lot of cards in set two that I just don't have. I think there's specifically a Madam Mim. I think it's the 5 drop. I just don't have a single one of her. Um, I've never thought to get any of her. Um, I should fix that at some point.
We just got a few spoilers and there's these dual ink cards that we've gotten. What do you think about that?
I'm really excited about it. I think there's a lot of possibilities that are opening up with that. Obviously, we don't know the rules about them yet. If you can only play them in that specific ink combination, or if you can play them in either or. So I'm excited to see what they're going to put out and what the actual rules behind them will be.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun to, like, figure out what that's going to be like, because if you only will be able to play it in those combos, I feel like it'll be kind of like, "Oh, well, that could be a good combo for this set that people haven't been doing good in other sets." Or it could just open up another spot for ink if it's both, so
For sure. I mean, the lady card they shared, the Amber Emerald one, I think that has a lot of potential to open up that ink combination. That's something we don't see a lot of. So if there are more cards like that that have powerful abilities, I think we're going to start to see those ink combinations creep up. But we'll have to see as the releases start showing up.
Yeah, I said that I'm bringing back Perdita Surprise, but it's gonna be, Lemon Lime.
Lemon lime Perdita, all steel decks fear it.
I mean, I'm so excited because, like, I feel like the staple of the set is animals. I'm an animal lover, I love animals. Any type of animal.
Okay, well, like all so I like birds in general. Like most of my
Mhm.
tattoos are of birds. Um, so while unfortunately one of the best birds in the game nobody likes, he's still one of my favorite boys. I wish we had better Archimedes cards because he's another one of my favorites.
So where can people find you on socials?
Um, well, all the important ones. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. It's all Xenulous. You can also find anything that I've helped with on the Labyrinth socials. We are also on Instagram. We are also on Twitter. We're on YouTube at Labyrinth TCG, and that's where you'll find all of our videos, our content. Anybody who's made a Metafy on the team, the guides that they've written, all of that will be encompassed in those links. I guess another question I have, like, what are the things you tend to play, and do you ever try to meta deck and play things that people like at the top are playing?
What I'll do is I'll find a meta deck that looks fun to me. I'll take the colors and I'll add my own spice to it,
Okay.
which I feel so I'm running right now for set champs. I'm running Ruby Saf, but instead of items, I'm running ramp, then play like BLT and Maldragon, like getting a lot of that Ruby or bigger cost characters out and
Mm.
overwhelming the board state.
Just playing bodies and wanting to just bully people.
Exactly.
I can respect it.
Well, thank you so much for, you know, spending your time doing this with me. And, I had a lot of fun. So thank you again.
No, for sure. Thanks for asking me. I always feel honored when someone asks me to do anything. I I don't think I'm particularly special. I don't think I do anything that's out of the ordinary. So I like uh I like being able to contribute to the community, and just I like talking in general. I just
I passed over to Logan and he readied and then he quested for 13 and he won the game. So thank you for joining me and Logan. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. You can follow me at Enchanted Hunter on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. And quest on!